Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today is our sixth practice of 2024 and we are working as usual on a positive affirmation combined with a pattern and with an art practice. Today's affirmation is I can control my own happiness. And it is very difficult actually to control our joy and happiness, so this beautiful and positive path. So today we actually will create two patterns. They are part of a one, but they are divided by a space, a gap. Because as I was thinking of something that can symbolize this affirmation of I can control my own happiness, I thought that sometimes in life we are on the right path to maintain this joyful and, you know, uh, positive feeling, and then something happened, right? Something breaks that pattern, a gap. So the gap between the pattern will represent exactly that gap that sometimes happen in our life that breaks our joyful path, and we need to be able to find it again. So we are going to transfer the pattern from one space to another, avoiding the gap. For today's practice, you need a mixed media paper or any paper that you have available. We're going to use a pencil for drawing and we are going to use markers. Any brand that you have available, I use the Sharpies because I love them. They come in many different colors, but you can use any markers that you want. And remember, put yourself in a comfortable position, pause the video, prepare your supplies so you get to practice with me as we work through the practice as I talk to you to this through this positive affirmation that I can control my own happiness, and how can we use art to help us to really deeply understand what does that mean and how powerful our brain is. So get yourself ready. Everything is in the description box, and if you're new to this channel, please consider to subscribe and also go back and check all of my practice from last year, but mostly from this 2024, because each week I have been working on a mindful art practice and a positive affirmation. So they are very, very useful. Definitely, they are doing very good to me. I'm not here because I do exactly what I say. I'm practicing with you and I'm giving myself the reminder that we all need to build a positive, successful, and fulfilling and happy life. I'm gonna switch the camera and we start. Okay, here we are. I'm using my drawing pad, and as I said, you can use any paper that you have available. Let's start to reduce the space that we have to work on and build the pattern that will be in two different sections interrupted by something, exactly as a symbol of what happens sometimes in life. So exactly as we did for last practice, with the pencil, we're gonna trace two rectangles. You use like one horizontal line, then you go slow, 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 slow all the way down. Then you do the same on the opposite side, parallels, and then you close your rectangle. This rectangle doesn't have to be perfect. As you see, mine has a little imperfection and I embrace it and I keep it as it is. Then something interrupted my practice, and so we're going to leave this space completely white and we're going to create another rectangle more or less the same size. So we try our best. Just the secret is to look exactly what you're doing and go slow so you can control your movement. Maybe a little wider, and then you go down and then you close it. Now, as I think about happiness, I think about waves that goes all the way up when we're very, very happy, and then sometimes we are just slightly happy, we go down, but then we bring it up again. So I'm going to do this undulated type of lines. You do not have to copy exactly what I do, but just to look at what I do first, and then you have the concept, and you can kind of follow your own instinct into this curved line. Now, as we say, our happiness get interrupted, but we are able to bring it back and keep working on and keep maintaining the path of joy and happiness. Let's go now with our second beautiful way that gets interrupted, but pretend that there you go. They don't have to be the same. As you see, I'm very spontaneous. I'm not planning any specific lines, and then I'm careful to create a continuation of this line and this line, this line and this line, this line and this line. And I want to add the one more because I want to be able to use as many colors as possible, because color actually really make me happy. I'm gonna do probably one over here because the path toward joys and happiness always start from small steps. For example, giving yourself the opportunity to have 20 minutes, 30 minutes every week to practice art, to practice something that you like, is already an act of joy and an act of happiness that you are controlling. So now for the colors, choose any colors that you want, any color that really represent happiness, because you can control your own happiness. So use the color that gives you that control. You do not have to copy mine. If you happen to have the same colors that make me happy and you want to use them, of course, go for it. But remember, be intentional and choose the colors that really makes you happy, because you can control your happiness. Let's start our beautiful breathing exercise. We bring attention to the way that we breathe, calmly, deeply, thinking about it. So intentionally, we fill our chest and our belly with air, and then we exhale. I can control my happiness, choosing the activity that I want to do. I can control my happiness, choosing the people that I want to be surrounded by. I can control my happiness, avoiding a situation of high stress, or just prepare myself as much as possible and as well as possible so the level of my anxiety will be low. And they won't affect my general happiness and my joy. I'm going to switch to these colors because this doesn't make me as happy as this one. And I want to control my colors because I want to control my happiness. I can control it by adding or taking away things that affect my happiness in a positive or negative way. Very good technique of coloring is just to outline the space that you have to color. So you're going to make sure that you stay inside the lines and the space. This is a very good technique that I teach my students as well. Markers are a fantastic media to create amazing art that just need to be used in a certain way. So this is also a very useful practice about the quality of coloring. So coloring techniques with markers, undulated line, which is one of the basic elements of art, and once again, a personal connection and interpretation of colors in the color wheel. this sound, the noise of the marker brushing against the paper makes me very happy, because this is something that I really love to do. It's something that I enjoy. It's something that really, is part of my life and my job, and it makes me support my family. So I'm so grateful, right, for the opportunity to practice art and use the colors and use them for this practice. So once again, I can control my happiness, making sure that I do what I love the most. And for doing that, I prepare myself and I work as hard as possible to putting myself in the condition to practice the activity that makes me happy, to be surrounded by people that are positive influences in my life, to dedicate time to myself. I can control my happiness also with mental discipline. If I feel that I am very overwhelmed and very tired, I need to work hard toward reconnecting to this path of happiness. And how can I do that? Well, I can do exercises, for example. I can prepare or eat a very healthy meal. I can listen to some music that relaxes me and that I like and makes me feel joyful, because maybe I have memories, beautiful, happy memories connected with that music. If I have all photographs that of moments and peoples who make me happy, I go and I take a moment in my life. I take a break, even from a very busy schedule, to give myself some happiness and joy. So the secret is kind of, and it is not easy. It's not that since I'm telling you I have everything figured out. Absolutely not. I struggle as much as any other humans, if not even more, but I am trying my best to use my skills, to use my mental skills and my knowledge and my will to really work hard on myself, to live the most beautiful and fulfilling and meaningful life possible on this planet. So the fact that we learn to listen to ourselves and listen and understand when we are getting stressed or a little depressed or just overwhelmed, mentally tired, it's already a very good step. It's the first step. And we need to stop and think that we must do something for ourselves that can help us to regulate, right, our emotion and to keep us on the path of joy and happiness. And each one of us is different. So for me, definitely art works extremely well. And I see it every day with my students, the benefit that art practices have on all of them, regardless their age, gender, personality, uh, academic results, regardless learning challenge or learning disability, mental, physical, and social emotional disability, they all respond extremely well to art and art practice. So one step would be, for example, for you to do a practice like the one that we are just doing together to reset our mind toward a path of joy and happiness. It could be taking a walk outside, which I will do immediately after this practice, doing exercises by yourself or with your friends in a gym or at home, whatever works better for you. But really becoming responsible of the fact that we have control on ourselves on our life, on our body, and on our minds. So we have control on our happiness and joy. We just need to be responsible, take responsibilities, and take action. And sometimes we might fall from the path because we are humans, right? And we are learning. And we try again and we keep it going. As I'm publishing these practices on my YouTube channel, if you have a practice that you really favorite and if you have a positive affirmation that you think that you need to work a little more compared to other, I really invite you to repeat the practice and maybe change something in it. Change, for example, the colors that you use, the shapes that you use the first time, the media. Maybe you use markers and you can do the same practice with watercolor. And let's see what is the effect. It's the same, it's better, it's worse. So these are free resources that are available 24/7 for you. And I really hope that you are taking advantage of it because I'm putting really all of my best intentions, my professionalism, my energy and my love and my respect for you all in preparing them and publish them. So I really hope that you can use them as much as possible to your own benefit. Because once again, we can control our happiness. Think about the postures. So if you need to adjust this, like I just have to do it because I was not taking care of my back. And I was starting to feeling, I was a little sore. Adjust your position. Make sure that you're always comfortable. And make sure that you choose the colors that make you happy and joyful. As you notice, for this practice of positive affirmation and mindfulness that I am preparing, I'm not choosing very complicated exercises or realistic drawing technique because I really want you to focus on the mental and emotional benefit of the practice. And I don't want you to focus, mostly if you are a beginner, if you're a young student, I don't want you to focus on the technicality, right? Of course, in doing this, you are gaining fine motor skills. Your skills will become better and better. You will be able to color and trace lines and shapes much more fluently than before, but that is not really the purpose. So we will go back in the future to other practice that are more focused on elements and principle of art and design or some particular technique that you want to learn. For example, watercolor landscape painting or watercolor still life, etc., etc. But so far, until the end of February, we're gonna really support each other into this process of building confidence and getting to know ourselves a little more and spending time of taking care of our mind and our soul our emotions, our feelings, and understand that our mind is really powerful and we can do great things. And we can control many, many things. Definitely, we can control our own happiness and joy. We can make the choice to be happy or to be miserable. And it is difficult sometimes to understand because we feel miserable and we think that it doesn't depend on us, but on, other events or other people, right? Other facts. But actually, it really depends on the way that we face the challenge. I can control my own happiness even when it's interrupted. I will go back. I am able to control my mind and bring it back on the same frequencies, right? It looks like a frequencies wave or something like that. I really think that this was the perfect pattern to create when working with this positive affirmation. I can control my own happiness. And here are our two patterns all done. Now it is really up to you if you want to leave them this way, if you want to add the black outlines. I'm going to show you the way that it will look with the black outlines so you see the differences and you will make your decision. Oopsie. And then if you want, I'm going to actually create a sort of a connection so you can kind of visualize, and this is really mostly useful for very young students to visualize how, even though our path was broken, we could connect it again and we gain control of our pattern again and we gain control of our own happiness again. And off we go. I can control my own happiness. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm going to switch the camera to say goodbye. Take a moment to look at your practice. Take 3 deep breaths in and out to really embrace these beautiful patterns, double patterns, and the positive affirmation, I can control my own happiness. Okay, we are all done with today's practice, and I hope you really enjoyed as much as I did. I try my best to combine specific patterns that can really kind of give us the visual idea of the positive affirmation. This is because I know that my viewers are, different in ages and in skills. So for a young child, it's difficult to understand a very abstract concept. Art is a fantastic way to visualize abstract concept and make them more understandable for all of us, in particular young students and artists. Remember that we can control our own happiness and our own joy even when we feel that we cannot, and even when we go through very, very, hard challenge and painful losses. We can go back. The gaps and the challenge that we face, they might break our patterns of happiness and joy, and we can and we must do everything in our power to take it back and bring our mind and our focus on a path of joy and happiness, because we are meant to be joyful and happy in this life. I will see you very soon next week for another beautiful pattern, beautiful practice. We will use watercolors, so I try my best to also rotate and match the right media and technique with the positive affirmation. And I hope that you will follow me and will practice with me. If you like my channel, please, and my videos, please let me know by liking them, by subscribing, sending me comment or feedback to help this community to grow. I really appreciate you all, and I wish you all the best, a very good day and a fantastic life, and I see you next week. Ciao a tutti!